accept, where them hands, where them holes, where them throws, you know what I'm saying? Cecil.
I'm sure by the time this video comes out, a lot of people have heard of the situation that I'm going to comment on. And yes, I am actually going to comment on it from a martial arts perspective, but it's probably not going to be what a lot of you would think, expect, or even demand from someone who purports to be a martial arts instructor or a martial artist. I'm talking about this situation that took place in PG County, Maryland, where a few middle schoolers got on a bus wearing ski masks or some type of facial covering and pulled a gun on another middle schooler. The gun jammed, and that's why the middle schooler survived. You hear me typing on my computer, I'm looking up the exact incidents. Because what happened is that a female student is she is the mastermind behind the attack. Okay? She's the mastermind behind the attack. She had 3 boys and go and get another 14-year-old boy. And at the time of this recording, there's one gunman called Lil K or Baby K. He's called Baby K, and that's all they released about the last gunman, who is still on the loose. Okay? Let me do a little bit of background here. I just Googled an article for WUSA 9. It says here, middle school girl arrested, charged as an adult for a role in a raging bus attack. The girl was arrested, held without bail. The 15-year-old gunman in the case has still not been caught. A 14-year-old middle school girl has been arrested and charged for arranging an attack on a Prince George's County school bus. This is Prince George's County, Maryland, in Oxon Hill. On May the 1st, 2023, 3 teen boys pushed their way past a Prince George's County bus driver and aide in Oxon Hill and tried to shoot a middle school student in the head, but the gun misfired. Videos of the attack show a teenage attacker holding a gun to the victim's head and chest while his 2 accomplices hold the victim down. All 3 teens beat the victim and fled. Now a 14-year-old girl is accused of planning the hit squad attack. The 8th grader is still accused of texting 2 boys moments before the attack and let them know that the victim was on the bus. Now, this is where things get hairy, because attorneys for 2 of the boys who are in custody said that they're innocent, and the attorneys argued that the attackers can't be identified on video because of their masks. That's one thing I heard. I'd heard that before reading this article here. Another thing is that, here we go, they mentioned in this article too, the victim allegedly knew his attackers by name but refused for days to tell the police, according to testimony. Police said they identified the masked suspects only by seizing the victim's phone and discovering it had been used to text the attacker's name shortly after the assault to a contact. So if the victim was reluctant to identify the attackers, here it is, and they're saying it in this article, the defense attorneys argued the victim's reluctance to name his attackers calls his truthfulness into question. So this is not me saying this. This is the news article saying this. I have to be clear about that, because sometimes if I do a news story, people want to take it personally, like I'm personally attacking them. This is the only thing I can say. Well, let me tell you what I'm not going to say from a martial arts perspective. I'm not going to sit up here and give you techniques of what to do. Okay, so if the gun jams, then you should move this way and then do that way and then do this attacker and then do that. And then 3 people are holding you down or 2 people are holding you down. First you do this and first you do that. I can tell you stuff like that. I would even go over stuff like that with my students. But I'm not telling you that for free on the internet, because that may give you permission to put yourself in dangerous situations. I'm going to give you the first advice I would give my own students and my own children if they were still of that age. And that's this. There are certain situations that you can get into. Let me use language from my day job. there are certain situations that you can get into that are beyond the scope of my requirements. Now, a lot of people are going to do what I said on my hip hop channel. It's called the Respectability Hustle. The Respectability Hustle, as I call it, is when you try to act like that all problems in the world can be solved or be solved or not betrayed, solved or remedied by just acting right and with proper parenting and by basically being a respectable person and by you teaching all those around you to be respectable people. You leading a respectable life yourself can minimize and nullify 99% of problems that are out there. It can help. But this is the thing. No amount of parenting can keep a child out of this situation because people have free will. We like to act like those of us I'm prone to fall for the respectability hustle myself. We try to act like we don't understand that human beings do what they want to do and they make choices based on how they feel and what they think individually. We act like there are not children who disobey their parents. We act like there aren't adults who disobey the law because they choose to, because they want to, because they have free will. If by your religious beliefs, if you believe in a judgment day or any type of final judgment, in your belief or scriptures, does it say that whatever or whoever is going to be judging you on your ultimate day of judgment for your soul, do your scriptures say that your parents are going to be there? If you believe that your heart is going to be weighed by whatever forces you feel creative or construct or behind our reality that we live in, do those sacred scriptures tell you that your parents' heart is there as well? I've looked at a lot of belief systems and religions in this world, and I don't think that that happens. When you sign up for a martial arts class, as a student, are your parents, if you're doing a combat sport, are they in that combat sport with you? When you learn to take your first fall as a martial arts student, are your parents falling? When you get scored on, do your parents get a point for that or lose a point for that? When you lose that match, did your parents lose that match or did you lose that match? We have to stop acting like everybody will act okay if they're just told to behave. They're not. That's why things like police officers were invented in the first place. And you can get yourself into a situation that is so bad and that's so dangerous that no amount of techniques are really going to protect you. Because this is the thing. I don't know how many people were on that bus. I don't know if that victim of this attack was on that bus by himself. But, if he had actually got away and started going into some type of disarms and some type of techniques to protect himself, he could protect himself. But the gun could go off and somebody else could end up being shot, somebody that was not part of that altercation. And that's something else that you have to consider sometimes when you're trying to defend yourself. Why is it called self-defense? Why is it called self-defense? Is it called everyone else defense? Now, some self-defense laws do include that you can defend other people. But I think that you know what I'm getting at with this. So if anybody wants to know what's going on and what can we do, what's the solution? Honestly, the real solution, and a lot of people are not going to like me saying this, you can get yourself so deep that the only person that is going to be able to save you is Jesus. It's Jesus. That's the only person that's going to be able to save you from some of this stuff. Is the Lord. That's it. Now, I'm not saying this because I hate or because I'm anti or anything like that. But to be honest, I mean, there's only so much we can do with as parents. There's only so much we can do as martial artists. There's only so much we can do as friends. Now, one thing we could do as members of society is if it's a bus full of people and some bad actors come on there, everyone that's in that vicinity could go after the bad actors. But people don't do that. People bystand and stand by. And if you don't know what I'm getting at, look at the bystander effect. It's basically where if something happens, if there are more people around, everyone else assumes that somebody else is going to do something to stop the bad thing from happening. And what happens is that nobody does anything and everyone ends up standing by and watching someone get hurt. So if we could breed ourselves in society to where we all feel like we are all responsible for everybody else that's around us, and then we all go to war whenever one of us is being hurt or whatever, I think that would solve the problem. But that might as well be a fantasy solution because I don't think that's ever going to happen in this society. Do I have an incident? I actually have anecdotal evidence where that happened, and I'm not going to go into that on this channel because I'm going to protect that person's privacy, who told me about an anecdotal incident where everyone on the bus in his home country came to his defense and actually helped him. And these were all squares. But then again, these were all square adults. This was not a bunch of children. So I don't know if we can expect children to do that given the way we are in the society. He came from I would say a very religious society. I will put it like that. And in that very religious society, I guess they felt like it was their God-given duty to protect everyone around them, and they did in his instance. And that's all I would say about that. But overall, this is a really, in my opinion, really bad tragedy. And this is, I mean,
Hey ladies, we're giving out free Dove samples.
I don't know why that popped up because I wasn't even touching anything on that. So, this is just a really bad situation. And, prayers all the way around. And I hope that, we get to the bottom of this. And, we really need to take a look, though, at what is going on in our society and what we can do to fix it. But like I said, though, just thinking that parenting is going to be enough, it's not. Parenting is not going to be enough. Just law is not going to be enough. And my main spiel on this channel of take a martial arts class, take a martial arts class, that's not even going to be enough. I think all those things, though, are part of a solution. But you can't just look at one area and go, well, if they would just do this, then no. Because people don't work that way. They never have. I'm starting to think they never will. So thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you share this with people like to talk about the martial arts. Peace, and as always, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.